All right, let's jump into this. We've got a stack of sources today, straight from the team themselves, the recent update notes, announcements, covering a bunch of key ArcBlock products.
That's right. These are the official communications detailing, well, some pretty significant changes, both things you'd notice right away and, deeper stuff too. Across tools you might use daily, whether you're just using them or actually building on the platform.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive is basically to unpack these notes, figure out what the most impactful changes are, get a sense of the why behind them, and really understand how it affects you.
Yeah, what's the real world effect? We're looking at Blocklet Launcher, DD Spaces, Discuss Kit, Media Kit, Payment Kit, Pages Kit. It's quite a list.
It is a wide net of improvements. And I guess if you've been using any of these lately, maybe the first thing you noticed is, well, a certain look popping up everywhere.
Yes, definitely. The universal embrace of dark mode, it really feels like that was a major push across the board.
It does seem like it. So why? Why was rolling out dark themes across so many different products such a priority based on what the sources say?
Well, the reasons given are pretty consistent across the different update notes. It really boils down to user comfort and optimizing the experience, especially for long periods of use.
Right, reducing eye strain. That's huge if you're staring at a screen all day.
Exactly. That's highlighted everywhere. Aiming for a more comfortable viewing environment, giving the platforms a more modern look and feel. And crucially, it just aligns with what a lot of users prefer now. Dark themes are really popular.
And it seems like they went all in. The Blocklet Launcher notes say dark mode was rolled out universally across the whole platform.
Correct. Universal there. And for DDI Spaces, that's the decentralized identity system, they highlight a new dark theme, now available across all pages.
All pages, okay.
Yeah, and they even mentioned going a bit further, like tightening up the color contrast and improving the visual hierarchy within that dark theme, specifically to make sure things stay easy to read.
So, universal for the main launcher, every page in the identity system. What about the kits? Did they get the same treatment?
Mostly, yeah. Discuss Kit, which is, for forums and communication, specifically added full dark mode support for document posts and the editor.
So if you're writing or reading longer stuff, that's where you'll really notice it.
Precisely. That's where eye strain from bright white pages can really kick in.
Yeah.
They also mentioned refining the dark mode, styling for other bits like profile headers, how GitHub embeds look, just making it all feel cohesive in dark mode.
Makes sense. Media Kit for images and that sort of thing.
Yep, Media Kit also introduced a, quote, sleek new dark theme. They specifically call out support for the uploader component and the main Media Kit interface itself.
Okay, and even something maybe less visual, like Payment Kit.
Even Payment Kit, yeah, which handles the decentralized payments. It now fully supports dark mode. And that's important because it means you get a consistent look even if you're embedding Payment Kit into an application that has its own theme.
Consistency across the board.
Right. And Pages Kit, for building websites, also added support for a dark interface.
So it really feels like more than just adding a trendy feature. It's about creating this consistent, comfortable visual baseline across all the core tools, especially if you're using them a lot. Feels like a significant kind of foundational improvement.
It really does unify the visual experience, and it addresses a very clear user demand, sets that baseline for more comfortable interaction across different parts of the ecosystem.
Okay, so dark mode is the big, obvious visual story. But these updates, like you said, go deeper. Let's shift gears a bit and explore some of the other significant changes in the sources. What else is new in Blocklet Launcher besides the dark theme?
Right. Beyond the visuals, a key addition there is something called proactive alerts.
Proactive alerts. Tell me more. What do those actually look like in practice?
Well, according to the notes, they're designed as clear, in-context notifications. So think alerts about, say, potential payment issues or maybe apps that are getting close to expiring.
Okay. Things you really don't want to miss.
Exactly. The why here is about preventing those nasty surprises. You get informed right where you need to see it, within the launcher itself. Nobody wants their app to just stop because a subscription lapsed quietly.
Definitely not. Getting those alerts right there sounds super practical.
And another nice touch they mention is support for bilingual error messages within these alerts, which is great for accessibility, making sure users who might not be native English speakers still get clear, understandable information.
That's thoughtful.
Yeah. And then there are smaller but still helpful user experience tweaks like updated styles for the launch button, plus, the usual but essential bug fixes they mentioned, fixing error message localization and some display quirks with dark mode itself, and general performance boosts from updating dependencies.
So it sounds like the launcher updates are really focused on giving you more control, smoothing out those little friction points, and just making it more intuitive to launch and manage your AI apps, your DApp apps.
Yeah, the notes even use that phrase that the updated launcher is built for how real builders work.
I like that. It captures the intent while streamlining that main interface.
Definitely.
Okay, moving over to Dedi Spaces, the identity system. We covered dark mode. What else did the updates bring there?
The notes mention enhanced usability and generally streamlining everyday tasks. Some of the bug fixes they highlight seem aimed squarely at fixing those small, common annoyances.
Oh, yeah, like what kind of annoyances?
Well, one they specifically call out is getting instant profile previews when you change your name. The notes literally say, no more mismatch info. So you change your name, the preview shows it right away.
Ah, that's good. Those little sync issues can be maddening.
Right. And another one was better data sync for Discuss Kit titles. Apparently, empty titles could sometimes cause sync problems before. Now they just show up as untitled instead of, breaking the sync.
Okay, those sound like small details, maybe, but fixing those kinds of hiccups really improves the overall feeling of reliability, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It impacts the reliability of just fundamental interactions in your identity space. They also mention performance enhancements, like updating core dependencies, including the AWS SDK for better stability and security underneath.
The plumbing.
Exactly. And the what's next part for Did Spaces even says something like, the bar for user experience is only going up, suggesting this is just part of a bigger push.
Setting expectations high. Okay, let's jump to Discuss Kit, the communication tool. Any completely new features there that caught your eye?
Yeah, two main ones stood out as really enhancing how you interact. First, emoji reactions, right in the feeds.
Simple but effective, right. Quick feedback without needing a whole comment.
Exactly. Adds that sort of lightweight interaction layer. And the second one, which can be a pretty big deal, is auto-translation support.
Auto-translation in the feeds.
Yeah. Users can now apparently view posts and comments in their selected language directly within the feeds, which could really help break down language barriers for a global community.
Wow, okay, that could significantly boost cross-cultural communication in those discussion spaces.
Definitely has that potential. Beyond those big two, there are also some thoughtful user experience improvements. Bookmarks are better now. You can click labels within the bookmark details, and it takes you to related lists, sort of helps navigate if you're organizing stuff.
Well, that's clever, connecting related bookmarks visually.
Yeah, and they've optimized notification logic. Basically, the system's smarter about mentions when posts or comments get updated. You only get notified about newly added mentions. The idea is to cut down on notification noise on busy threads.
That is a relief, getting pinged over and over on the same thread unless someone new tags you. Yeah, that keeps the feed much cleaner.
Right. They also mention general UI styling tweaks, especially for dark mode consistency, and better search functionality handling, like if the search kit isn't installed, you get a clear message, not just a blank result. Plus, a bunch of bug fixes covering things like list displays, bookmark loading, notification glitches, and even specific UI stuff related to ArcSphere integration.
So Discuss Kit seems really focused on making communication richer, easier across languages, and just less annoying with notifications?
That sums it up pretty well. Now, Media Kit managing media. Besides the dark mode, what else improved for handling images and files?
The sources focus heavily on user experience improvements for the uploader component. They've optimized mobile responsiveness, so it should work smoothly on phones and tablets, not just desktops. And they've enhanced the overall UI styles for the uploader itself.
So just getting your files in should look better and work better, especially on mobile. Was there anything about speed?
Yes, actually.
Wow.
A performance boost specifically for that uploader component.
How'd they manage that? By optimizing some visuals, they reduced the size of Lottie files, those little animation files, and used lazy loading, so things only load when needed.
Yeah.
Basically, less data to load up front means it shows up faster.
Every bit of speed helps, especially if you're not on a great connection.
Totally. And one other key fix was around permissions handling, making sure users with specific roles, member, pages editor, blog editor, passports, can access the Media Kit without running into blockers.
Ensuring the right people have access when they need it. Makes sense.
Yeah. So for Media Kit, more robust, faster, user-friendly uploads, works better on different devices, and permissions are sorted.
Got it. Okay, Payment Kit. This feels pretty critical for decentralized commerce on the platform.
Absolutely. And the updates here seem aimed squarely at simplifying payments and adding more powerful tools for both users and developers, reducing friction, boosting transparency, enhancing the whole experience.
So what are the standout features?
Two really innovative ones jump out from the notes. First, using social account payments with existing wallets.
Okay, what does that mean exactly?
It means if you log in using a social account, maybe for the first time, you don't necessarily need to set up a whole new payment method right then. If you already have a wallet link, you can just use that. It cuts out a potentially confusing step.
Oh, that sounds like a big win for getting new users through that first payment smoothly.
It really streamlines that initial hurdle. Second, for subscriptions, there's a new Next Invoice Estimate tooltip.
A tooltip.
Yeah, it shows you the estimated amount for your next billing cycle and often includes an estimate of the usage that's contributing to that charge. Just gives you more transparency about upcoming costs.
Transparency in subscriptions is always good. No one likes bill shock. What about just the general billing interface?
They've redesigned the billing interface for a cleaner layout, better visibility of details, amounts, past transactions, and also balance information is now shown right within subscription actions. So you can check your balance while you're managing subscriptions without clicking away.
Putting the info right where you need it. Convenient.
Exactly. And like you said, stuff for developers too. There's now custom field validation in checkout forms. So builders can add real-time checks as users fill things out, catching errors early, improving data accuracy.
Yeah, much better to catch an error during input than have a transaction fail later.
Precisely. Plus, some performance and reliability boosts, like adding a payment confirmation step in the subscription flow, letting you double-check the deduction address, and better error handling if there's trouble getting cycle amounts. The notes are pretty ambitious here, saying these updates aim to simplify the payment process and position Payment Kit as a leading solution in the decentralized payment landscape.
That's a strong statement. These features definitely seem geared towards making decentralized payments easier and more trustworthy. Okay, last one on the list. Pages Kit, the website builder. What's new there?
Well, besides the dark mode we already talked about, the focus here was really on making the building and managing experience more solid, less frustrating.
How so? What did they fix or add?
Mainly through key user experience improvements and bug fixes. One they called out was fixing draft mode issues, making sure it works reliably, and specifically mentioning better compatibility with Safari.
Browser compatibility fixes are always welcome news, especially Safari.
Definitely. They also improved custom component loading speed. Apparently it's faster now because of smarter caching. The notes say something simple like, less waiting means more building.
Can't argue with that logic.
No. And maybe the biggest quality of life feature, autosave for data sources.
Autosave, finally.
Right. Any inputs you make when you're configuring data for your pages, it just saves automatically in the background. Huge reduction in worrying about losing work if you accidentally click away or something interrupts you.
Oh, that's massive. Losing progress is the worst feeling. So, Pages Kit is all about stability, speed, and just peace of mind for the builder.
That sums it up perfectly, making that core building experience smoother and more reliable.
Okay, wow. We've covered a lot of ground there. Updates across Block Launcher, Ditty Spaces, Discuss Kit, Media Kit, Payment Kit, and Pages Kit. Stepping back from the individual products, what are the common threads you see running through all these updates? What's the bigger picture?
Yeah, when you look at all the source material together, a few consistent themes really pop out. User comfort and control is definitely one, with dark mode being the prime example across the whole ecosystem.
Right, making it easier on the eyes, more pleasant for long sessions.
And enhanced usability is another big one. We saw it in simplifying tasks in Ditty Spaces, refining bookmarks and notifications in Discuss Kit, that redesigned billing interface in Payment Kit, fixing core stuff like draft mode in Pages Kit. The goal seems to be making those everyday interactions smoother, more intuitive.
Performance too, right. That kept coming up. Faster loading for the Media Kit uploader, quicker components in Pages Kit, dependency updates.
Yep, performance and stability are definitely there. And reliability and transparency seem woven throughout as well. Those proactive alerts in the launcher, better data sync in Ditty Spaces, the payment confirmation steps and estimate tooltips in Payment Kit, autosave in Pages Kit. It all feels aimed at making the platform more trustworthy, giving users clearer info, more control.
And they didn't forget the builders either. Specific developer tools like that custom field validation in Payment Kit, better permissions in Media Kit.
Exactly. It feels like a really comprehensive sweep, touching different layers, the UI layer with dark mode and usability, the performance layer with speed and stability, and the feature layer adding new capabilities like auto-translation, emoji reactions, simpler payments.
So boiling it all down, what does this mean for you, the listener? Whether you're mainly using these tools or actively building with them.
Well, it should mean a better experience overall. You're likely to find faster workflows, less eye strain thanks to the themes, easier and more transparent payments, clearer info about your subscriptions or blocklet status, more reliable tools if you're building pages or managing media, and better ways to communicate in discussions. These updates really feel designed to make working with and building on ArcBlock smoother, more productive.
And the sources really back that up with those specific goal statements we mentioned, like built for how real builders work for the launcher, the commitment that the bar for user experience is only going up for did spaces, and that ambition to lead in the decentralized payment landscape for Payment Kit. It feels very practical.
It really does. It shows a commitment to refining things, addressing those pain points people might have felt, and just generally laying better groundwork for whatever comes next by improving the core experience right now.
Well, that was a pretty thorough deep dive into what looks like a significant wave of updates across the ArcBlock ecosystem. We've covered the big dark mode push and dug into key usability, performance, and feature upgrades for the launcher, did spaces, Discuss Kit, Media Kit, Payment Kit, and Pages Kit, all pulled straight from those official notes.
And the sources also give little hints about what's next, don't they? Mentioning things like deeper integrations, more personalization, ongoing performance work, better feed controls, more collaboration features, maybe expanded blockchain support.
Right, lots to potentially look forward to. So here's a final thought for you to chew on, just based on the pattern of updates we've discussed today. Considering how many different parts of the platform got attention all at once, everything from basic UI comfort like dark mode to core developer tools, performance tuning, specific app features, what does that pattern tell you about the platform's current focus areas and how it's evolving? And maybe, based on these changes, which area are you most excited to see developed further? Something to ponder until our next deep dive.